During the bye week, a lot of rumors came out about who the Las Vegas Raiders' next head coach will be. Everyone was talking interim head coach Antonio Pierce when he started out 2-0, but it's calmed down since. 2 losses in a row will do that. I still love Pierce, but he has to go on a magical run like 2021 to keep the job, right? One of the rumors was the Raiders being interested in former Stanford Cardinal head coach David Shaw, but it was pretty light. The big heavy rumors were about Jim Harbaugh and John Gruden coming to the Raiders, while Pierce is in the seat now, so it'll likely come down to those 3. Let's take a look at what each one would look like as the Raiders head coach, as well as who and what they can bring to make it work. They all have their pros and cons. We start with Pierce, whom the players already follow and love, but he has a defensive background, and the guys with the offensive backgrounds are the ones that win these days. Since 2010, Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick are the only coaches with defensive backgrounds to win Super Bowls. To make it work, Pierce would need a top offensive mind as his offensive coordinator, and Bo Harbaugh is in the middle of his first stint as an offensive coordinator. Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, and Colton Miller don't have time for that. Eric Bieniemy is ready, though. He's an Andy Reid disciple that can't get a head coaching job because Reid gets all the credit for the offense. He went to Washington to prove himself, but head coach Ron Rivera will be fired at the end of this season. Coming to Vegas to prove himself is just what the doctor ordered, and he'd have Adams, Jacobs, and Miller. Then the Raiders would just need to trade up for a quarterback. I think Jaden Daniels is the right guy. Pierce knows him from his time at Arizona State and everything, and if Bieniemy develops Daniels into what he can be, the Raiders have a quarterback that can win the AFC West and more, and Bieniemy gets his head coaching job. That's win-win. From there we go to Harbaugh. He knows the drill with the Raiders as he was once Gruden's quarterback coach in Oakland in the 2000s. And like Gruden, he's an old school coach that grinds his players around the clock. He's come around and become more of a player's coach, but the bottom line is everywhere he's gone, he's turned that program around. San Diego State, Stanford, he's been to the Super Bowl with the San Francisco 49ers, and he's looking to win the national championship in college with Michigan as we speak. Would he let defensive coordinator Patrick Graham stay on? The defense is playing for him. Harbaugh picks good defensive coordinators, so that's nothing to worry about. The Raiders need a quarterback too, and Harbaugh might not have to trade up for his guy. I think J.J. McCarthy is very underrated because he doesn't put up big numbers because Michigan runs a lot. However, he has tremendous arm talent. He can run, he can throw on the run, and he can improvise to repair a broken play. The fact that he knows Harbaugh's system is a big plus too. Aside from adjusting to the speed of the game, he can come in and hit the ground running. Then there's Gruden. He needs to stop making personnel decisions and running his guys into the ground so he can finish the season strong. He can change though. He adapted his offense to Hunter Renfrow and his route running. I'm sure you heard Sports Illustrated's Hondo Carpenter say Gruden's the guy that Davis trusts the most, so he's likely the favorite. The good is he has a winning record against Andy Reid, and he's the only Raider coach to beat the Chiefs in the Patrick Mahomes era. He almost swept them in 2020. Speaking of 2020, that was his last full year, and the Raiders were number 10 in scoring offense at 27 points per game. To make all this work, I think Gruden should and would push all the chips in the middle of the table for Caleb Williams, whatever it takes. The last thing he needs is more first-round picks anyway. He could do so much with Williams. No matter what you think of Derek Carr, Gruden got the best out of him. He was much worse last year and worse this year without him. He should be willing to keep Graham on as a defensive coordinator too. That's a combination you can win with. Decisions. Who will be the coach of the Las Vegas Raiders next year? Antonio Pierce has the love of the team, but the love of the team doesn't win games for you. Then there's Harbaugh, who's turned the program around everywhere he's gone. Hopefully he's learned his lesson from having all those late night meetings and he doesn't wear the players out with them anymore. Then there's Gruden, who shouldn't be allowed to make personnel decisions or wear the players out anymore. He's not a bad coach though. He beat Reid and Mahomes with a lesser team. So who do you want to see be the Raiders' next head coach? See me in the comments section about it. Thank you for watching. See you next time.